It won't. Transition.
I thought you weren't. And we'll just do like JD says, and good morning, everybody. We're
Good
live
morning.
because
Good morning.
since Michael was talking already, even though he promised me,
Oh, you're on.
yes, I'm on. I'm live. There you go. So how you like that? How you like them apples? Since we said that Michael was not going to talk while I was doing the intro, and he said, "No, I won't. I promise." And then literally 2 seconds later, he's talking. It's like, see what I put up with, everybody. See what I put up with.
I'll tell you.
It doesn't matter which one of these boys is here. They're bound and determined to torment me. Anyways, good morning.
Good morning, Raylene.
55 degrees, cloudy, starting to get breezy, and we know that around 1 o'clock, I guess, is when they say it's going to start raining, but not really hard and heavy until like later in the evening, and then not good. Yeah, Roger said we could get 1 to 2 inches of rain.
1 to 2 inches.
Yeah, 2 inches of rain is a lot of friggin' rain all at once.
That is a lot of rain.
And so if you live somewhere where your storm drain might be covered up with leaves right now, get them off right now before they get all wet and like cement on top of it.
And if you're not capable of doing it, you call the city, and the city will take care of it.
Yeah, the city, town, wherever you live, get that taken care of unless you want bigger problems.
I have a drain on my property.
You do?
Like it's like 5-10 feet onto my property.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not my property, but my mom's property.
Yeah.
It's like 5 to 10 feet into our property.
Is it all cleaned off?
Yes.
There's no leaves piled up on top
No,
of
there's
it
no
and all
leaves.
that good stuff?
Because when you take the lawnmower, it chews up all the leaves and then it goes down.
Yeah. Which, that's not a bad thing. But maybe because at one point in time, like, the road was different there or something, and they just left the drain there.
No.
No.
I have no idea why it's there. I should ask Bill that sometime.
You should.
I really should.
Maybe the city didn't put it there.
Oh, no, the city put it there.
Yeah.
There's no question.
question.
There's no question about that. That's a city crate. I should ask him about it. So how you doing, Raylene?
I'm doing okay. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
It's been,
you look a little short on the camera, though.
That's all right.
Like,
you think need to fix it?
So,
because you know who usually.
Yes, JD, but I was the one that used it last, so that's the reason why it's probably like that. I put it up super high.
The people that usually sit here
are itty bitty. Well, he's a member of the Lollipop Guild.
He's a little bit smaller than I am.
And if Michael no, I won't say it.
Well, that's over there though, but when he sits on the other side, you kind of can't tell. Michael Deering always looks kind of like, do you put a seat over there or something? I'm just asking because he always looks like he's pretty much the same size as others when you put him across the room.
He might be sitting on some folders. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess next time I'll have to check.
You're going to have to check.
I'm going to have to check.
Yeah, we want to know.
Yes.
Because he does look similar in size to all your guests. I'm just saying.
Of course, anybody that sits next to me looks like a midget. Not a midget. Now I said the word. Now I'm a terrible person.
A smaller person.
A kid, because I'm so big.
Mm-hmm.
Midget.
You have
Can't believe I just said that. Sorry, folks.
Really pounding out the shows, trying to get everybody in. And last night you had whom?
Last night we had Samantha Lefebvre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Lefebvre. It's Lefebvre. It's not Lefebvre.
Mm-hmm.
My sister and her husband, it's Lefebvre. but for Samantha, it's Lefebvre. So
So
but
she
it's
joined
spelled the
you,
same.
and then what do we have coming up? You have another one
man.
Friday, correct? This Friday.
Yeah, we have one this Friday. So,
And we're
this
talking
Friday,
about the Berry Beat, by the
correct,
way. On
yeah.
the Berry Beat, you
Yeah,
can
so-
watch these.
8 p.m. tomorrow night. Right? Yeah, tomorrow.
Yes,
tomorrow
tomorrow's
night.
Friday already.
I know, I can't believe it. We're going to be discussing Proposition 22 or Proposition 5, which is to amend the Constitution, which is Article 22 to amend the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, sorry about that. I'll get that a little closer to me. Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. Look at that. I can even hear myself.
I can, yeah. You can?
I can. It's coming from the little speaker.
Oh, I hate it when that gets left on. Isn't that annoying?
It can be a little annoying. I must have left it on last night.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to be discussing Prop 5, which is amending the Constitution, Article 22.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bodily autonomy issue.
Mm-hmm.
We've got two different sides coming in. There will not be like a panel. It will just be the two sides. I will be here to moderate the discussion.
And I will moderate comments.
Exactly.
Because it's going to
It's
be
gonna
a discussion, not trash talk.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an opportunity for people to trash other people. This is an opportunity for people to learn about Proposition 5.
Mm-hmm.
You should absolutely know what you're voting for. And if you don't know everything about it, then tune in tomorrow night and you'll see both sides. I don't know, hopefully it
goes well.
It will go well.
Mm-hmm.
We're having some technical issues because one of the people has to be remote, so we will be using Google Meets,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we'll settle that all out and have that ready by 8 p.m. If not, we might be a little bit late, but one way or another, the show will go on.
It over the last several weeks, because of other things that have played out in regards to the D&E committee.
Yep.
There's been a lot of discussion in regards to this at City Council, and I've always, or since this has all started, been a little bit puzzled by it because there's
nothing we can do.
Right, there's nothing that the City Council can do. The only thing that you have any control or say over is the committee itself.
Yep.
But as far as this law, rule change, anything, it really has nothing to do with you. There's nothing at all that the city can do. And it's been a little bit unfortunate that it's all been brought up there. They need to take
National
that
politics onto the local level.
Yeah, and it's not something that I want happening. I do not want national politics mixing with the local, unless it's an absolute must. There's just some things that no.
Yeah, we actually had that conversation last night with Samantha, who voted no on the January 6th thing, but she voted no because it has nothing to do with the state of Vermont, just like had nothing to do with Berry City.
Right.
Berry City says, no, we don't want that. So what? Let's blow resolutions out our rear end on a bunch of stupid stuff, right? I mean, the next resolution that I know of that's coming up is the extra mile. And that's a resolution to honor people that have worked hard in our community. And a lot of us know who those people are. There's three, at least maybe four people that we're going to be honoring for the extra mile. And let me tell you something, that resolution is way more important than that resolution for January 6th, because it has no effect, but the extra mile, that's something in our community that's important. I don't care about national politics when it comes to city council stuff. Sorry, just don't care. I think a local issue. The things that are going to affect people are on the local level. You're going to be more affected by my ordinance forcing you to leash your cats than you are the January 6th Commission resolution.
Hey, I'm all for leashing cats or keeping them.
I'm not doing, just before the comments start coming in, I am not doing an ordinance to leash cats. What's the comment say? Are they probably like
vote no, non-specific. We're talking about Heather. It's Heather Slayton, and she's talking about the Prop 5, Article 22. Vote no, non-specific language that does not even say women. Leaves it open to men to make your healthcare decisions. And that is the thing. We're not saying that we disagree with that. We're just saying we're not taking either side right now. We're just saying that really had no place in city politics or taking up the time of the council. That was not the issue. Was the divide in the committee and the unwillingness to be open-minded and diverse. And
I think the definition of diversity in most,
very broad.
It is very broad for people on what they think diversity is. I think diversity is everything, right? It doesn't, your color of your skin, your body type, your hair color, your ethnicity, your thought process, your lived experiences. That's what I think of for diversity. And a lot of people feel that way. But I think that the people that are running the diversity and equity programs don't think about, the differences in thought. Right.
Right. There's only a few boxes inside of their box, and that's it.
Right.
Because that's what it's been thought of by many for a long time. For me, it even throw an addict in there and the addiction issue.
That's diversity. Yes.
Exactly. Are we going to create an environment where we're trying to support recovery, or are we going to push away?
That's a really good diversity and equity conversation to have, right? Because
in my eyes,
yes. Well, no, I completely agree with you, because
Mm-hmm.
that's a lived experience of someone, someone that's addicted to drugs. How can a diversity and equity committee deal with that? Well, I don't know. Figure something out, right? I mean, that's something that could be addressed, but I mean, it's not. I don't think that's on the topic of agendas.
Right, exactly,
but,
because there's only a limited amount of things in that box. The conversation doesn't seem to go beyond women and people of color, and and
I don't know where the conversation has gone at all. So quite frankly, I've watched some of the I've watched all of them since like January.
Yeah.
The common theme that I get is Michael Booten is a terrible person.
I've gotten that, and truthfully, I mean,
and
I've
for
been
those
a bit shocked by it, actually. I don't know. I never thought of you as a
it's okay.
evil
okay
person.
I'm vindictive and vicious. It's okay.
But you do have some people that believe that about you.
No, I mean, there's some truth to it.
Yeah, and same with me. I mean, there are a lot of people, as you know, that can't sometimes handle my forwardness. You've witnessed it a few times yourself, and
just stay out of the way.
It's a problem sometimes, though, because I am not good at biting my tongue. Usually if it's in my brain, it's coming out my mouth, and even at times that it shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And so would I love to be a part of that committee? Hands down, 100%. I have a million things I'd love to say, but I know damn well that William
maybe the two
is
of us
a
can join.
teddy bear compared to what they'd have to deal with if they were dealing with me.
Yeah, that would
Because
be
it
fun.
only would have taken once
For someone to come off at you.
Oh yeah, it just that's it. It would have only taken once, and I wouldn't have needed or expected or even asked for the help of probably the council. I would have just dealt with it.
Yeah.
As you've seen me do.
Well, you're more than welcome to join the D&E committee. We do have an opening.
Yeah.
Although I think there's probably somebody that's already applied.
I'm sure. And like I said, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
With the current committee.
Maybe I should be the council liaison. Put in the comments if you think Michael Booten should be the council liaison to the Diversity and Equity Committee.
They do need a council liaison. And I truthfully somebody I don't remember who, I'm sorry, but somebody suggested that we maybe even break it up because each committee that is currently active could use a little bit of diversity and equity. The Planning Commission, the DRB, and so break it up a little bit and put those members in other committees to bring a little piece of that to each committee.
Not a bad idea.
Because all of those committees could use a little bit of thought when it comes to that, especially the Planning Commission and the DRB that are, bringing new business, bringing new homes, giving thought to equal housing, affordable housing, those sorts of things.
So let's talk about the Planning Commission since you're on it. I know you have a meeting tonight, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about affordable housing.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody's like affordable housing, affordable housing, affordable housing. And they say it 3 times thinking it's going to magically appear.
Right.
And it doesn't just magically appear, folks.
Oh,
it
God,
doesn't magically appear.
No,
and you know what?
no.
You can keep on saying it 3 times in the mirror and they still won't appear.
No.
But nor will, whatever.
It's
so
a lot of work. It's a lot of work
it
and
is,
a lot of decisions.
It is, but the problem that I'm thinking about, we talk about affordable housing and, well, that's all great and dandy until, we start talking about what that entails and what the city should be doing about it. And should the city should be dumping money into affordable housing when, I don't know, we do have affordable housing in Barrie. We have more than everybody else has in central Vermont.
I know.
We're extremely welcoming. And in that narrative, as a side note, people that are saying that Barrie in general is not a very welcoming community, get out.
Yeah.
Because that's not true.
Well,
if you think that's true, I don't know what to tell you.
We have to think about that a little bit. No, we have to think about that a little bit.
Oh, man.
As far as inviting people to live here, I agree with you. As far as I told you, a recent experience where I was with a group of business owners who are fairly new to the area, and several of them don't even know who our mayor is. They said they could not pick him up out of a lineup.
Well,
they could not. If you did a lineup, they wouldn't even know who he is. And they don't know they have not met anybody from the city. They don't feel that welcomed. They don't feel that supported as business owners in downtown Barrie. They don't feel like Barrie is being promoted enough and that they're getting enough traffic down here because of that disconnect. And so that there's 2 sides to that, though. So I say to them, city council meetings every Tuesday night, 7:00, go. Send him an email and say, I would really like to have a time that you and I could meet. Send the development program or Tracy Lewis an email and say, and there's somebody new over at Barrie Area Development now. Amy.
I don't think it's. I'm probably butchering it because I called her Amy yesterday or day before, and Carl told me no. I think it's Ami. I think it's Ami.
But there is somebody over there now, a director, and there was always an interim
Miss
director.
Green.
Yes, Miss Green.
Miss Green.
So It's just like if you say, I haven't heard from you in a really long time. You know how to write, you know how to email,
Yep.
you know how to text, you know how to use the
Yep.
phone. It goes both ways. But it just is sad to me that
Yeah.
that people feel that there's that disconnect. But anyways, back to the affordable housing. I agree with you. It's not a magic wand. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I do believe that we have many older homes in the city that could be turned into apartment buildings, or and I've learned quickly that even if an elderly person that no longer uses the upstairs of their home because it's just too much for them, they probably, wherever they live, could not put in a unit upstairs because their lot size doesn't accommodate the parking that is, so the lot size doesn't accommodate what the city says you can have for a number of cars in the yard, or driveway space, or different things like that. And if those people wanted to move so that a 5-person family, 4-person family could move into their home, there isn't something smaller for them to go to, really.
So let me just, so I know that there's been some conversation about the planning commission and reducing the occupancy requirements, right? Basically what that does is allow for more apartment houses, right?
Correct.
Fine and dandy, until a couple of years from now we're like, oh, well, we have too many apartment houses. Well, right now we have the most apartment houses by capita in our area.
We do.
I mean, I looked at Montpelier. I think Montpelier's in like the 70 owner occupied. Barry Town's like 85 owner occupied, and we're hovering around 40. And I like the makeup of our community the way it is right now. I mean, it is a starter community. Barry City, you want to come to Vermont, you come through Barry City and you come here, and we have affordable housing compared to the rest of the state, right? We don't have, we have a significant amount of subsidized housing in Barry City. Montpelier, everybody looks at Montpelier being the all inclusive stuff. They're the ones that were demolishing their low income housing to put up condos. So, first of all, we're very welcoming, and that to me tells me we're welcoming.
I agree.
And but as we're talking about removing those requirements for occupancy, you're talking about fundamentally modifying some parts of the city, right? Let's look.
Not all, but some.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're talking about changing the modifications down here on Main Street, that's not what you guys are talking about. You're talking about probably like R4, right? So you're talking about what are traditionally single owner occupied housings, and now we're talking about changing those into apartment houses.
Not necessarily, no.
But when you increase the occupancy, that's what you're doing.
Right. But we're not saying necessarily, there are people out there that would love to, let's say, move their parents out of a huge Victorian and have a small suite attached to their house because they're caring for their parents anyways, or and it even limits those where you can.
And I get what you're saying, but I can tell you that's not happening. It's not. But that's the argument. That's the argument. They're saying, well, my grandmother, wants to have an occupancy. My mom wants to be in a small little apartment with me. That's what the argument is, but that's not what's happening. They're turning owner occupied houses into apartment houses and then renting them out, which is fine, right? If I'm just, as we're talking about making sure that on a zoning level things are equal,
right. You don't think it's going to happen. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Like you say, that's not going to happen, but you can't
it's
be
no, the
sure
argument
that
that's
things will
being
never
used,
change.
right? Well, the argument that's being used based on what you just said was, that the child that wants to, let's be
Yeah.
honest, all the kids are moving in with the parents, not the parents moving in with the
Well,
kids.
that too. That too.
But
Yeah, both.
it's not we're using it. To me, it sounds like a strawman argument about parents. We want to have a place for our mom to be in this, little small apartment. What does Heather say?
Well, let's start with Rosemary first. So the mayor and Sam Stockwell pledged 125 homes in 5 years or something like that. What was their vision for that? Providing some incentives, I assume?
That was the previous mayor, I believe. Just as a side note, it was Lucas and Sam. They went on TV and everything else.
Oh goodness. I did not know about that promise. And then Heather,
can I just tell you?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well,
in 5 years, you don't build 124 house. Mind you, do you know how big Berry City is?
no, I do not.
4 square miles, folks. 4 square miles. That's it.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking.
Oh,
like
sorry.
numbers or whatever.
No.
Yeah, that part I knew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4
it's not very,
square miles.
Yeah.
Montpelier is 7 square miles. So 124 houses in 4 square miles. Where are you going to put that? And there's literally 2 places you can put it. You can put it, well, no, because that goes into Berrytown up on top of Colby, right? And I'm sure everybody on Colby Street would say, that would be a no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? The other place is up by where Congress Street is, which if you go up Portland, there's some property up there.
This is what I struggle with so badly. Everybody wants change. They know we need change, but nobody wants it to happen. What I said it during my interview, what worked 10 years ago is not working now, and it's never going to work again. And that goes for so many things. And you know how old-fashioned and backwards I am about many things, but I'm not naive in the respect that the makeup and the look of things here is not, it can't stay the same. It just can't. It can't.
Right.
And I would rather see, I personally would rather see old homes used. I would rather use what we have here already as opposed to building new, modern, that part of it I would love to see happen. I guess what is really frightening and sad to me is that places like the high rise down here in North Barry Manor, when that was built, it was built for a purpose.
Yep.
For older people to move in, have a nice, safe place to be, walkable.
Yeah.
They don't live there alone anymore. And I'm sorry, but the crime rate in those buildings is large. I know some people that live down in this one and at one on the other end that are afraid. They're afraid. And that's very sad to me that ever had to happen. And there are people that say, I'd rather stay in my home and struggle all by myself than move there.
Yep.
That's sad.
Do you know why those houses are like that now? Or those apartment
because we
buildings
can't
are?
Exclude anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And
they're not allowed to anymore, which they should be able to.
Yes, they should be able to. There are some places where you should be able to exclude.
And just for the record, when I say exclude people, I'm talking about younger people.
Right.
Just for clarity.
It is okay.
You're not allowed to. Those facilities or those buildings are for there's
Anybody
like
65 and over is what
that's the way it should be.
The original intention, I believe, was 65 or over or disabled.
Yeah.
And but now the makeup of what qualifies you as disabled is totally changed as well. But it's sad and unfortunate, but things are going to have to change. And you've heard me also say, I wish there was something more that, and you said the same thing. It's never going to happen. I wish that there was something that the city could do, or even the state would do, to better support landlords, because we have a whole lot of places right on top of our down street that could be rented, but we have a whole lot of landlords saying, no freaking way, I'm not renting out of my spaces, getting stuck with people that I can't evict, getting, I have to follow all these rules, and nothing I do matters, only the tenant is always right, and I could be going a whole year without even getting a payment from somebody. And that's shitty, because that would change the makeup of our downtown greatly. And it's what we need. If the upstairs is full, people would want to fill the downstairs. We would have more people that said, yeah, I would love to have a little grocery store there, because the people that live above me are going to come.
So I just want to point out that Raylene just saved Berry City $10,000.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it just by stating the obvious.
Yeah.
No, we'll still pay for the consultant. Don't worry about that. I'm sure we will. The consultant to find out why we don't have apartments in these buildings here.
All they have to do is ask.
I know. I understand that.
That's all you got to do is ask anybody that owns.
They don't want to rent it out because of that reason. Yeah. You're absolutely right. But I think that's one of the things that is in our plan to do, is do a study to find out why we don't have people renting.
Yeah. Well, and even in, we can, even with the planning commission itself, like, I understand that we're trying to find.
It's in our plan. 1 minute. I just want to clarify. It's in our plan, but it's not. We haven't voted on that on city council or
this
anything.
One? Are you?
We're not. It's not on the docket anytime soon. Believe me, when it is on the docket, I will make sure that everybody knows we should not be spending money on that consultant.
And then Heather would like to know, when will we convert the homeless hotels into city managed subsidized housing and just get it over with?
Stay tuned. No.
Silence. There was silence.
There's I'm just not going to say anything about this, because I have unpleasant views on things.
Well, and
I'm not a housing first person. I'll say that.
And let's and I feel like the state put them there, and the state forced this situation so they can take care of it.
So
they should be paying the city
if you want
on a
to
monthly
fix the
basis.
Homeless problem. If people want to fix the homeless problem, if they really want to fix it, instead of complaining about it to make them feel good that they're talking about it, they have to deal with the underlying issues of homelessness, right? You have to deal with drug addiction. You have to deal with mental health issues. You have to deal with those. And that's not, oh, I'm so sorry. That's not how you deal with it.
Correct.
You have to deal with it in a way that may not make you feel good. I don't know. Maybe putting someone in a hospital. If they're not capable, if they have mental, a mental health issue where they can't be by themselves, maybe they should be in a hospital. We made decisions to do that, and to remove or stop hospitals, and as same thing with the drug addiction. You want to be able to walk around with your 1/4 ounce of your cocaine without getting into trouble. and then bitch at me about homelessness.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one that wants them walking around with cocaine. I mean,
Yeah.
I just, you deal with those. You have to deal with the underlying problems.
Mm-hmm.
The homelessness that everybody thinks of that they really want to help are the people that have fallen on really hard times and are really in a bad spot.
Yes.
And everybody wants to help those. And we want to help. Everybody wants to help the people that are, drug addicted and with mental health. But how you deal with it isn't by giving them housing. You have to deal with the underlying problem.
I said how I would deal with it as far as the addiction, and holy shit did I get hell, because I'm not saying that I want to put them all on an island and exile them, for God's sakes. It's not what I'm saying.
With or without.
I mean, my son is an addict. That isn't what I want for him. What I want for him is recovery that is actual recovery, not a place that they go for 90 days and people think that they are somehow miraculously cured and just going to come out and be law-abiding, upstanding citizens. That is not going to happen. For me, a perfect world. And if I won the Powerball tomorrow, it's the first thing I would do is buy Windsor Prison. I'm not kidding you. I'm not saying that the treatment court is it's an amazing program. It's 18 months long. If you're going through treatment court, you could reside at Windsor. No, you couldn't come and go as you please. You would have to learn to do something other than hustle and use drugs while you're there and while you're going through the treatment court program. So you're getting programming, you're learning a trade, you're getting your GED if you have not gotten it yet. There is acres and acres of garden. They have their own wood furnace. You can cut, stack, chop wood, whatever, maintain. You can.
And you mentioned that on an island. I think that's a great idea. And
that's what I used to call it.
That's not a bad idea.
It's
an island away from the troubles that we have.
And we know, or I'm very open about the fact that I had troubles. And when I was in Windsor, that's what I called it. And when somebody says something to me now, my friends all know what I'm talking about, and I'll say I learned it on the island. I did, and I learned a lot there. And I will tell you that when I first went to prison, we were at Dale in Waterbury, and things were a lot different back then. We had janitors. We had janitors while these women and young girls were playing cards, dice, crocheting all day, listening to their boom boxes. And I was like, what the hell? Why are we paying for what are we all doing? Why can't we do that? Why, it didn't make sense to me. And then we all moved to Windsor, and we had to clean that. We cleaned it up. We were our own janitors. But it was jobs. Everybody had jobs. You could work in the kitchen, you could clean the facility, you could work in the plate shop, the sign shop, you could be the people that kept the wood furnace going, you could work the acres and acres of garden that provided food for us and the local school. And if you had not gone to school, you went to school during the day, period. You didn't lay around in your freaking bed all day. Are you kidding me? Get your ass up, shut the door. And that's how it became. It ended up happening that you got up every morning, you were out of your room by 7 o'clock, and you were not allowed back in until 4. It's the way it should be. That's the way life is.
Right. I'm not opposed
and
to
I don't understand why
with that.
Teaching them how to do life is considered.
It has to be, though. The problem that we face is that it has to be mandatory.
I agree.
And it can't be, well, I'm not going to do this right now.
But we have to get a community willing to do it, and that it gets stopped every time, no matter where it is. And I believe it would get stopped here too. It has been proposed for Windsor. It has been proposed in other locations, and I believe it would get shot down here as well.
Shot down as in, like, I don't think people would be opposed to having a community. Well, you mean in the community wouldn't want those people?
Where it would
those people?
Yeah,
okay.
Because that's where it would have to be. They don't want those people now. Talking about D&E, they don't want those people now. The problem with it, we have those people. And so it's up to us to choose how those people are going to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I get now that I see what you're saying. I was thinking more of the line of people don't want to actually force people into those kind of...
That too.
That's a problem for me.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the problem where, we sit there and we're perfectly fine with, we don't want the person that's addicted to drugs to go to jail. Right. I don't think jail is the right venue for someone that's addicted to drugs. If you're selling it, that's a different story. But if you're addicted to drugs, going to jail probably is not the best setup for you.
No.
So something like what you're talking about sounds great. And that
like
is,
Linda says,
but
we
it
need
has
more
to be
Jenna's
mandatory.
Promise. And that is true. We do, and it's a perfect model. It's they do it within their community. They themselves have bought several businesses. They actually just, with the partner of a bakery, opened up a cafe in Johnson as well. So they have a coffee shop and cafe, but they have little businesses around Johnson, and the people that are in their program that live in their housings work. They earn an income, and they learn how to manage life with that income, and while they're recovering.
And that's the way I'm
but
fully.
Again,
that's a restorative justice right there.
I love Jenna's Promise. And I will. It's a great model. The only thing I wish is that it was a mandatory thing for some people. And everybody says you can't get better until you want to get better. I do believe that. You have to be willing. But I think that I think that my son has fallen so hard. He has so much disconnect that he doesn't want to, because he doesn't feel he's worthy. I really feel that way, that he thinks, why? Why? What is it going to do? I've already screwed up my whole life, and this is the way I am and who I am, and I'm not worthy of any of that. But I think that if somebody made him go to a place such as I'm suggesting, and he felt productive, he learned his worth. He learned that, I can do this job. I can run a meeting. I can learn how to run a meeting, and I can help other people, the newer people that are coming in, these young guys that might look up to me because I'm going to brush myself off now, but they could brush themselves off now when they're 20 and not 30 like me. I don't know. But I said all that, and I came to all of that because I believe that when I think about housing, I think about it including them, because they are a large makeup of this city.
Yeah.
And we all know that. And we know that because we have the local courthouse. We have the local FSU, probation and parole. People have to stay close. Because of transportation. You can't move somebody to Groton. It's got to report to Barry PMP.
Yep.
Or go to the clinic or whatever. You can't do that. But if we had a place, it would make a big difference and free up a lot of space as well. Just my view on that.
long way to
It's a
affordable
long.
housing.
No, it's not, because it frees up a lot of space and it gives us back our. If we are using the hotels right now to house a lot of these, then why couldn't one of those hotels, the Hollow, used to be a beautiful place. Why couldn't it be beautiful again? And older people move out of. Why couldn't it be made little units and older people move out of these big Victorian homes that they have that they really don't want anymore and don't even utilize anymore, so that we can accommodate a family of 4 instead of sticking the family of 4 in the hotel or somewhere else or an apartment above Main Street?
Yeah.
It would make a difference. I'm just saying.
Well, they do have the houses up in Berlin, right?
Yeah, that's Berlin. That's not Barry.
This is true.
Berlin knew they had a problem and they are fixing it. They said, yes, let's have that big building come here. We'll just create our own little city up here and
I will say this.
Kick ass.
When that comes online, it will be interesting to see the housing market here.
Yeah. There are people that are living up there already. They're or starting to. They're starting to get. Yeah, because they're going to have like a little village up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. See how our housing market goes.
Affordable housing to me is finding a spot that we could make them their own little village or their own little, the Hollow Motel, or so it frees up what we already have, so that because people are so afraid of changing the makeup of what Barry's going to look like.
Are you talking about me?
You and many people, it is beautiful. You ride around, you see all these quaint houses and the way things were, but honey, times are changing. Nothing's the way it was. And it sucks, but it's reality.
Well,
and it doesn't work anymore. So per capita, my ass. That's what I'm saying. To you. I don't care.
I was just making the comment that you don't want to get too much of one thing and not the other. That's all I was saying. Yeah. I think that Berry City is a very happy medium. Anyway, that all said, that was a huge rabbit hole that we went down.
No,
it feels
it's a rabbit hole that needs to be gone down many times by many people. Somebody though. Beeped. But we never go down that rabbit hole. It's like everybody is scared shitless to go down that rabbit hole.
I guess I don't understand. I don't really understand what you're saying. So you're suggesting to change the zoning to make it so that we can have like what's going on in Berlin? Is that I guess I don't understand.
I say we change. I would like to see zoning change too, or zone it one. I don't know that this part can be zoning, but I would like to see more support for our landlords. Absolutely. I don't know if the city can do that.
That's crappy legislators
stuff, and I don't know if a city can do anything in a.
No,
we tried, but we can at least get our voices out there a little more. I would like to see that. And as far as zoning goes, I think there would need to be a more open mind of accommodating the people that are currently in the skyrise. And
but see, this is what I don't understand what you're saying.
For older people to move to, so it frees up their homes for bigger families.
Are you talking about creating or having somebody come in and creating a small village?
Not necessarily a small village, just a building that is specifically for them.
Okay. So
you're not going to move up into that space in Berlin if you are 35 and on state assistance with 3 kids.
So you're talking about bigger buildings in downtown Barry?
No, we don't have to have bigger buildings. If we have a different space for the people that are under 65 living in those buildings, that's what I want, so that our elderly can move out of their homes safely and into a place like the high rise. They don't dare to. And can you blame them?
I'm not following what you want to do in zoning. That's what I'm.
We need to find a place to build an apartment building or a complex, another Green Acres, if you will, or Highgate, if you will.
But those are available, though. I mean, you can do that. You just have to pay for it.
They're not available. I know. I've heard of people that want to just put in an 8-unit place, and it's not available.
Well,
you can't because of current zoning.
Right. But that gets back to the part that I was trying to say, which is you have to have a healthy mix for a community. Mm-hmm. You can't just be you have to have a healthy mix of owner occupied businesses and of rentals. Mm-hmm. We are the highest in rentals in this area, right? Mm-hmm. Which isn't bad. I think it makes up a really good population. I like the way that is.
At one point just be trading one for another, because the people I'm talking about are already in rental, but they're in a rental that they shouldn't be in. They're in a rental that should be only occupied by elderly people and people that could essentially sell their home to somebody that's already in an apartment building waiting for a house that hasn't been able to find one for 3 freaking years now. One would take over the other, but in the meantime, you're going to have some place that the people that are in housing at the skyrise. That I'm just using that as an instance. There's got to be a place for anybody under 65. There's got to be a place for them to go. Right now, there isn't a place for them to go. As somebody who has just spent the last freaking year just trying to find a house, I'm here to tell you there's not a place for them to go.
But for zoning purposes, though, when you're talking about changing the occupancy levels, right? Mm-hmm. And that's turning owner occupied housing into rental housing. Mm-hmm. That's what that is for zoning. Mm-hmm. Now, when you're talking about giving people a place to go for people that own their house so that just a family can come in. Now you're talking about creating a place like the Berry Manor or the that building down there. That Correct. Name is escaping me at this moment in time. For the life of me, I can't think of it.
There's the Tilden. There's
Tilden,
Washington
thank you. Tilden, yes.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation than the occupancy levels in your R4 area. They're talking, because straight up, you can sit there and say that it's about my mother-in-law coming and living with me. Mm-hmm. That's not what it's about. That is the straw man argument.
It is about that. If you don't want her going to the North Berry Manor to get robbed and abused every day. I'm not,
and I get that. But what I'm saying though is that the argument
You're saying that everybody has an evil underlying agenda.
I'm saying that there might be one person that's talking about modeling their house, and you're using the one person to justify having a shit ton of rentals.
I think there's more than just one person that would do those sorts of things.
Maybe. I don't. You know what? I would love to know how many people are not able to do rental or do a mother-in-law. How many people have said, you know what? I want my mother to move in with me, mm-hmm. and
they don't want her to move in with them. They want to build a space for her.
Build a space close by. I wonder how many people have that particular experience happening. I'm willing to bet you it's not as many.
Well, we know that I'm one of them. I mean, look at what I'm doing right now. It's all about my dad and,
right.
and his needs.
I'm not saying that that's not the. I'm not saying that it's not impossible. What I'm saying is that we're using that argument to shade what the real issue is, that we want to turn owner occupied buildings into apartment houses. And that's fine. Just come out and say it. I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm just saying that if that's what you want, then just say it and state it, that you want more, apartment houses in Berry City, which is fine, right? Like, the more people that come into apartment house, those are people that I like. Okay. They're people that are salt of the earth individuals. I'm just saying, for a community perspective, it's good to have a good mix of rental and owner occupied. It's
that
when
I
you
agree
have
with. But you also said it would change the look and the makeup of some of the neighborhoods, and that's why people are so opposed.
No, we were talking about new developments.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking
totally
about
agree with that.
when I'm talking about
some
when I
places.
said Colby Street, there's some property up there that we could build houses up
Street.
there. Yeah. You could build houses up there, but I can guarantee you the people on Colby Street don't want the houses to be built up there, because it's a nice area without them. Right. It would be a nice area with them as well, but because it's a wonderful area, but it's just, people don't want that because it's more.
Right, so we're never going to move forward.
Well, they don't have an option unless they own the property. Currently, there's 2 property owners up on the top of Colby Street right now. One of them probably would do development, and the other one I don't think would. I know. So prior to his passing, he told me no. So, but I do know that he was trying to sell the property up there. So, it's very, very possible. Whew, wasn't that just a lot of fun?
No. My point is, they're already in housing first model. Shouldn't we institute support that should have been there 3.5 years ago? Make the housing department, upon participation, and the city collect rent.
No, I don't know what was said there, but it sounded like the city collect rent. That's a no. I am not.
So like the Berry Housing
I am not
Authority,
okay.
is that what
I really do not like. I do not like government housing for the most part. I like the free market system, and I absolutely oppose Berry City as a municipality being a landlord. That is not a good situation for us. We have this, it's like the Wheelock building, right? We have Tracy in there from the partnership. And I am perfectly fine with her being there because she takes the majority of her budget from us, right? We pay for most of, we pay $50,000 for her to do work here in the downtown. I think the same thing could be done with the BADC. I think the BADC should be down there as well. But to rent it out to, somebody who's wanting to
mean be a landlord so that you may not get paid your rent and they may
do
all those things?
Correct. Or rent it out to somebody that's going to be a pain in the ass. Oh, excuse me.
What, that you said pain in the ass? Oh, gosh, Michael.
Because that is a possibility, right? We could get somebody that's going to be like really difficult to deal with if we rent that out. And there were people interested that would have been really difficult.
You wouldn't have that problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no to being a landlord.
But, you brought up this whole planning commission thing, not me. And to me,
I know.
It
was a mistake, right?
Well, no, not really. It's just that it's just like the D&E. For me, it's not this little box. It's freaking huge. It's not at all. This is nothing that no matter what we say, do give a year and a number to it. It's next to impossible to do that. It's next to impossible to say by year whatever we're going to have this many. In my mind, that was probably a promise that never should have been made. We shouldn't say 10 houses in 20 years because we don't know. No one knows the fate of anything. Just look at the costs right now. Nobody is wanting to construct any of this stuff right now. And can you blame them?
Yeah.
And so we all know that that's probably going to fall by the wayside no matter what, no matter who's mayor. It probably wasn't going to happen because you're not going to find somebody. And another thing that I've learned on the planning commission is somebody that's going to build a 6-unit building doesn't want to only build a 3-unit building because they need to be able to get back what they've put into it. And right now you can't get back what you put into it with only 3 units. It's too much money to build it.
Not denying that.
It's a very tough situation. Yeah. So it's a huge box, not just a little one.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I will say this. Being that I've been on city council for 12 years, I remember when we changed the zoning to make it so it was less restrictive. And I remember when it was more restrictive.
Well, it just might need to change again.
It's called waves.
Yeah.
And you know,
change. And some of us deal with change better than others. And I'm the first to admit I don't always deal with change greatly either. But I recognize for sure that things are never going to be like they were. Right. And it breaks my heart.
I'm just making the comment that what you're asking for, the planning commission had actually gone in the opposite direction about 5-6 years ago. And I'm sure 5-6 years prior to that, they went the other direction. And it's just,
I'm sure I'll never be on the same page.
No. I mean, I'm just saying that it ebbs and flows. Like we go one way, we go back. We go one way, we go back. It's never.
I know I do not want to see like super ultra modern buildings, that kind of thing. I wouldn't want to take a neighborhood such as Colby and stick some big modern looking, black and brick and glass and iron or whatever in the middle of that neighborhood. I would never want to do that. Because then
I don't think you have an option.
It would be odd,
that.
But exactly, you don't. Would it be sad at first?
No, I don't think you can do that right now. You can do that.
Think of the views that they have up there. I mean, it's that location is amazing. I have a friend that lives up there. Absolutely amazing. We're not
Lori.
So, I'm just saying.
Is it Keen?
I'm just saying.
Or is it?
We have company.
We have company?
I think so.
We do have company.
Who's here?
I do not know.
Oh, it's my sister.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
We have Raylene's sister here.
Have a good day. But anyways,
Murray?
a house with that would be amazing
Murray's?
Up there. It would be amazing. I'm not telling you my secret. It would be amazing.
I'm going down through the list. I'm thinking there's quite a few people up there. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. There was a new one that moved in 5 years ago. Was it that person? Or was it the nice lady that used to work at the McFarlane house? Not the McFarlane house.
I think I know who that is, though, but no.
That's not that person either?
No, I'm not. Is
there a Cody up
tell
there?
You because
I think there's a Cody up there, isn't there?
Yes. But anyways, for real, I don't know. It's a huge discussion. It's a huge topic, but kind of we got here because we were talking about committees as well, and then you brought up planning commission. But I think that the group that we have right now is a good group, though, and I think that we will work together to find.
Oh, I'm
ways.
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I saw Joe at the homelessness task force meeting. I didn't see him there. I watched him there on YouTube because everything's uploaded to Berry City Community fan page on YouTube. May take a couple days, but usually it's like 2 to 3 business days that it's uploaded there. And I know that that's much chagrin to some people that don't want it there. They want a central location, but that's on the city webpage. But at the end of the day, there's not enough staff to do that. However, I don't mind doing it for the Berry City Community fan page.
Right, but they're trying to get their staff situated.
Yeah, the staff.
I mean,
there's
the
not
staff is like that everywhere.
There's not enough staff to do everything that city councilors want us to do. It's just not possible. But for those that want to watch the committees, you can go on the Berry City Community fan page YouTube page and watch the committee meetings. I do upload them, and I upload the council meetings as well. Not as faithful with the council meetings.
Commenting and talking to us, and we're both going to have to really read through all of this and check it out, because
what does it say? Heather's posting a lot.
Yes, I would have to go.
I think Heather and I should get together on a show. It would be a lot of fun.
Let me see.
You want me to trigger her? I'm going to trigger her.
I hope I'm saying your name right. I think it's Maura Quinn, Caitlin Ross. We have Heather, of course. Heather Slayton, Pearl Slayton. Linda Kuchar, Glenn Brummer, who is a very faithful Aired Out listener also, like Heather, and Rosemary, and she was with us. And I think Rosemary said, "Screw you, Michael, I'm getting out of here." And then Linda Otis Kuchar.
I deserved whatever it was that Rosemary said. I probably deserved. I get into a lot of
Terry
trouble.
Rail. So anyway, we're gonna have to go through and read these comments and see what we need to get answered.
So
anything.
JD sent me a clip,
a link,
a CNN link, which you'll have to post it in the comments later.
Okay.
About a playground that has music on it. And I think he wanted me to talk about it. But this playground is right next to a house, and it plays music, and it's actually pretty loud. And at first I'm like, the family
the
is...
kids are just listening to music.
At first I'm thinking to myself, why are you complaining about it? I guess the neighbors were upset that this music was playing. And they started playing like Cardi B WAP. Is it WAP? Is that Cardi B WAP?
I have no idea. I don't even know who Cardi B is.
I think.
Oh boy.
I think that's who it is. But I think it's called WAP, which is a really nasty terminology that should not be played. But they were playing this to like get rid of the kids. And at first
they were playing with it at their house. They were playing it at their house.
They were playing that song and other explicit songs to get rid of the kids.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know. Well, I thought it was terrible at first too, and then like I listened to the music coming from the playground. That's loud and it's obnoxious. I'm not saying you should play explicit music, but I could understand why they were doing that. They shouldn't be doing it. But it goes to show you on like city planning, maybe not put like a music park right next to someone's house like that, Just
Is the door locked?
The door is locked. Why?
That's good, because Tracy Lewis is going to come down here and kick your ass.
A music park?
Well, you do know where we have the concerts in the park.
Well, no. That's not the same thing. This is you guys got to go on CNN here. I can tell you what it's called. It was an interesting.
Put it in the comments.
Well, okay, fine. CNN homeowners blast explicit music to protest playground noise. Like at first you're thinking to yourself, well, that's not very nice. But then you like listen to it and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'd want to live there either. If that was going on. It was pretty obnoxious. Oh.
So really it's kind of like buying a house next to an airport and then assuming it's going to be quiet.
No. They put They put the playground music in
after.
So
okay.
so it's not that they moved in. It was
the playground hadn't been there for forever.
Well, the playground had, but they modified it so that there was music playing.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess you like push on buttons and music plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually it looks pretty cool. It would be great for Playground 2000 because there's nobody there that's next to it, but it definitely would not be a great place for the one on Vine Street or Garfield or, all the other playgrounds in Berry City.
All right. We got to get ready to go.
We do. Yep.
Listen, while
you're doing that,
while everybody is thinking about quickly getting their houses under control, we have to, in getting preparation for winter, we have to remind everybody that Green Mountain Mulch, it's the perfect thing to cover all your beds, your garden. They deliver. You can buy it in bags local. Find it all over. I got mine down at, Agway is the first place that I got it. So buy the bag, works, and it smells amazing. I kind of feel bad that I put it down and now it's going to get covered up with snow because it smells so good. I wish that there was somehow that Green Mountain Mulch could make areas of no snow.
You could put it in your house.
Yeah. Oh, I do that too. So I use the mulch in my indoor plants because it helps. I take it out of the bag first. I put it on a tarp in a flat space so that if there's any dampness or, if there are little bugs that sometimes will end up in a bag while it's sitting in a yard down at Agway from other things, that they go away. And then I put it in my indoor plants, and it makes a huge difference in
nice.
When you only have to water them once a week then because the mulch stays damp for a little while and it smells good. And you can move it around a little bit. It smells good. You should try it. Do you have plants? Are you a green thumb?
I do.
So anyways, go get your bag of Green Mountain Mulch. We love them. And if you want to get your CDL, Class A, Class B, Class C, Giroux is taking apps right now for their November 14th class. And that class is going to fill up super quick. So limited spots. Call Tracy and get in there. 802-279-3325. Their ad is up this morning, but call Tracy and get into that November 14th class. And don't forget Preston's Kia Trunk or Treat. I really want to have a boatload of people down there with me. I called Janet Richardson and spoke with her, and the Berlin Fire Department is going to come down.
Nice.
Hang out with us. But my dear friend, Roseanne Sears, who recently passed away, was going to be down there with me. And now I will be down there on my own, but I would love to see people come down in her honor because it was such a big deal to her. And the last thing she said to me, even though she had been in the hospital, her chemo was kicking her ass and she was just sick, and they let her go. She was able to go home and have her chocolate milk finally. And they let her go, and she called me. We talked on Monday, and the last thing she said to me was, "Don't count me out, damn it. I will be there." And so I would love to see people decorate their car in pink and come down.
Are you going to wear a wig? Are you going to wear a pink wig?
I may. I'm just saying. So I've actually
and
been
the reason
looking
why
for
is
one.
because she
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wore a pink wig. She dressed up in garb, but if I can't find a pink wig, I do have some of the T-shirts and items that I've bought from her over the years, and so yes, I plan to dress in all pink. Well, at least my top and in the breast cancer, and hand out candy in her honor at Preston's Kia Trunk or Treat. we've been posting that as well. It's on the 28th, and I would love to have people join, and definitely love to have people join in her honor. So with that, we will close for now. Thank you all for joining us and sticking through that crazy ass ramble and banter back and forth. But hey, that's why we call it Shits and Giggles, right?
That's right.
And you and I can do that and still afterwards laugh and talk to each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Holy cow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine? So
I'll
anyways,
be getting my revenge on her later.
Yeah.
After the show.
Thanks everyone for coming, and have a great day. Batten down the hatches and clean off the storm drains, please.